English learners, welcome back to Jay and May English Podcast, the podcast that helps you speak English more naturally, more confidently, and more like a real human being. I'm May.
And I'm Mr. J. Whether you're listening from a coffee shop, your morning commute, or lying in bed right now, welcome. You're exactly where you need to be.
And today, oh my goodness, today's episode is going to be so much fun.
I can already feel the energy from you, May.
Because we are talking about April Fool's Day, the one day of the year where lying is actually acceptable.
Well, kind of acceptable. We'll explain that difference today, don't worry.
Okay, but seriously, if you're learning English and you've ever heard someone say April Fools and had absolutely no idea what just happened,
This episode is for you.
we're going to talk about what April Fool's Day actually is, where it came from, how people celebrate it around the world, and the English phrases you can actually use.
And if you stay until the end, you're going to pick up some really natural, everyday English expressions that native speakers use not just on April 1st, but all year long.
So don't go anywhere. And hey, if you're new here and you want to improve your English step by step every single day, hit that subscribe button right now. We drop a new episode every day just for you.
Every single day, we're here.
Okay, Mr. J, let me ask you something. Have you ever been pranked, like a really good prank?
Oh, absolutely. One time, my coworker put a sticky note under my computer mouse, covering the sensor, so the mouse just wouldn't move. And I spent like 10 minutes thinking my computer was broken.
No way, 10 minutes?
10 whole minutes. I was ready to call IT support. And then I picked up the mouse and saw the note. It said, April Fools.
That is both terrible and genius at the same time.
That's exactly what a good prank is. Terrible and genius.
Okay, so for our listeners who might not know, what exactly is April Fool's Day?
So April Fool's Day falls on April 1st every year. It's a day where people play jokes and pranks on each other. And the victim, the person who gets tricked, is called the April Fool.
So if someone tricks me, I become the fool?
Exactly. You become the fool of the day.
That's a little mean, honestly.
It is, but it's all in good fun. The key word is nobody is supposed to get actually hurt. It's lighthearted. It's playful.
You mean like silly jokes, not cruel ones.
Exactly right. A good prank makes everyone laugh, including the person who got tricked. If only one person is laughing, that's not a prank anymore. That's just being mean.
Okay, that's actually a really important difference. So where did this whole thing start? Like, who decided, hey, let's dedicate a whole day to fooling people?
This is where things get interesting because, honestly, nobody knows for sure.
Wait, really?
Really? There are a few theories, but no single clear origin. One popular theory goes back to 16th century France. Back then, the New Year used to be celebrated around the end of March or early April.
Oh, so the New Year wasn't always January 1st.
Not for everyone, no. And then in 1564, France officially switched to the Gregorian calendar, which puts New Year's Day on January 1st. But not everyone got the news fast enough.
Because there was no internet back then.
Exactly. No phones, no social media, news traveled by foot. So some people didn't find out for months, and they kept celebrating the New Year in April.
And then other people made fun of them?
Yes, people started playing jokes on those slow-to-catch-on folks. They'd stick paper fish on their backs, give them fake gifts, things like that.
Wait, paper fish? That sounds so random.
I know, right? In France, April Fool's Day is actually called Poisson d'Avril, which means April fish. And even today, French children still stick paper fish on people's backs as a prank.
That is the most adorable thing I've ever heard. Okay, so it started in France, then it spread?
It spread across Europe and eventually around the world. Scotland, England, different cultures all added their own twist to it. In Scotland, for example, April Fool's Day used to last 2 days.
2 whole days of pranks?
2 days. The second day was called Taily Day, and it focused specifically on pranks involving the back end, like the kick me sign.
Oh, that's where that comes from. Someone taping a kick me sign on your back?
That's the Scottish contribution to world culture.
I love this. Okay, so it's a real global thing then, not just an American holiday.
Not at all. Iran has a similar day called Sizda Bedar, around the same time of year. India has Holi, which also has a playful, colorful spirit. Many cultures have some version of a trickster holiday.
Humans just really love to mess with each other, don't they?
It's a universal language. And speaking of universal, wait, here's the interesting part. Even big companies and news organizations get in on it now.
Oh, like fake announcements?
Yes, companies like Google, BBC, even NASA have released totally fake news on April 1st. BBC once did a story about flying penguins with video.
Flying penguins? And people believed it?
Many people did because it looked so real. That's the art of the April Fool prank. The more believable, the better.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Even serious organizations use April Fool's Day?
Absolutely. It shows that humor is a part of every culture, every industry. Even the most professional places in the world can share a laugh.
That's actually kind of beautiful in a weird way.
I think so too. Humor connects people, and that's exactly why knowing this cultural event helps you connect with English speakers on a deeper level.
Okay, Mr. J. So, what are some classic pranks people actually do? Like, what should I be watching out for on April 1st?
Great question. Okay, so there are beginner-level pranks, intermediate pranks, and then the legendary pranks.
Oh, we're leveling up pranks now.
Beginner level, things like telling someone their shoe is untied. They look down, you say, "April Fools!"
That's so simple, but it works every time.
It does. Or telling a friend, "Hey, you have something on your shirt." They look down and you boop their nose.
I have fallen for that so many times.
We all have. Intermediate level, things like the sticky note on the mouse, like I mentioned, or putting googly eyes inside someone's fridge, so when they open it, they see eyes staring back.
Okay, the googly eyes one is genius and terrifying.
And then legendary pranks. This is where people go all out, changing someone's phone language to a language they don't understand, wrapping every single item on someone's desk in wrapping paper.
That would take forever to set up.
That's what makes it legendary, the effort, the dedication, the commitment to the joke.
You really have to want to do it.
The best pranks require planning, creativity, and knowing your audience. That last part is the most important.
You mean like knowing if the person can handle it?
Exactly. You never prank someone who is going through a hard time. You never prank a stranger. You never prank in a way that could cause real fear or real damage. Know your person, know your limits.
That's such good advice, honestly. Pranks should bring people closer, not push them away.
Think of it like this. A prank is like a spicy food. A little bit of spice, delicious. Too much, you've ruined the whole meal.
Oh, I love that analogy. A little spice makes it fun, too much, and it's a disaster.
And the person you're pranking should also be able to laugh at the end. If they're crying, that's too much spice.
Okay, so this is where I want to ask, because I think some of our listeners might wonder, is it okay to not like April Fool's Day?
100% okay. Not everyone enjoys pranks. Some people find surprises stressful. Some people just prefer a calm, predictable day, and that is completely valid.
So you can just opt out?
You can opt out. If someone pranks you and you're not laughing, it's okay to say, "Hey, pranks aren't really my thing." A good person will respect that.
I feel like that's a bigger English lesson right there, knowing how to set a boundary in a friendly way.
That's real-life English, not textbook English. Real life.
Okay, speaking of real life English, let's talk about the actual phrases because I know our listeners came here to also improve their English, not just learn about pranks.
Yes, and April Fool's Day is full of great expressions. Let's break them down.
Okay, first one. I already know this one, April Fools. What does it mean exactly?
So you say April Fools right after your prank is revealed. It's the announcement. It means, ha, I got you. It was a joke all along. It's the big reveal moment.
Like the ta-da of the prank world.
Perfect way to put it. Example sentence. Did you really think the office was on fire? April Fools.
Okay, next phrase. I've heard people say, I got you. What does that mean in this context?
Great one. I got you means I tricked you. I fooled you. I won this round. It's casual and friendly. Example, ha, I got you. Your face was priceless.
Your face was priceless. Ooh, what does that mean?
Priceless normally means something so valuable you can't put a price on it. But when you say someone's face was priceless, you mean their reaction was so funny, so perfect, it was unforgettable, like a golden moment.
Oh, that's such a nice expression. Your face was priceless. I want to use that.
Use it. It works in so many situations, not just pranks. Anytime someone has a really funny or surprised reaction.
Okay, next. I've heard people say you fell for it. What does fell for it mean?
To fall for something means you believed something that wasn't true. You were deceived. Fall for it is really common. Example, I can't believe you fell for the fake spider. It was plastic.
So it's like your brain just fell into the trap?
That's a beautiful way to think about it. Your brain walked right into the trap and fell in.
I've definitely fallen for some very obvious traps in my life.
We all have, May. We all have.
Okay, another one I want to ask about. Pull someone's leg. I've heard this a lot. Is it connected to pranks?
Yes, pulling someone's leg means you're joking with them, teasing them. It's not serious. Example, relax, I'm just pulling your leg. I didn't actually eat your lunch.
Oh, so it's like a gentler version of a prank, just kidding around.
Exactly. More like playful teasing than a full prank. Very common in everyday conversation.
And the last phrase?
In good fun, or all in good fun. This means something was done as a joke with no bad intentions. Example, don't worry, the prank was all in good fun. Nobody meant any harm.
Oh, that's so useful when you want to make sure the other person knows you weren't trying to be mean.
It's a reassurance phrase. It says, we're still friends. It was just a joke.
I love that. All in good fun. Okay, wait. I also want to ask because I know our listeners might have wondered this. Is it okay to prank your English teacher?
Oh, wow. I mean, know your teacher. Some teachers have amazing senses of humor and they'll love it. Others will not find it funny at all.
So again, know your audience.
Always know your audience. That rule applies to pranks and to communication in general.
That's actually such a big communication lesson. When you're speaking English or any language, reading the room matters so much.
Reading the room, that's another great phrase, actually. It means understanding the mood and energy of the people around you and adjusting what you say or do accordingly.
Okay, I feel like we just snuck in a bonus phrase.
Consider it a gift.
Okay, Mr. J, I have one more question before we recap. What do you think is the real value of April Fool's Day? Like, beyond just the laughs.
That's a deep question. I think April Fool's Day reminds us not to take life too seriously. We live in a world with so much pressure, work, school, responsibilities, and one day a year, the world kind of says, hey, lighten up, laugh a little.
That's actually really beautiful.
And for English learners specifically, understanding humor in a language is one of the hardest things to do. When you understand jokes, when you get why something is funny in English, that means you've truly understood the culture.
So, April Fool's Day is actually like a cultural fluency test.
I'd say yes.
If you understand April Fool's Day, the history, the phrases, the spirit of it, you understand something very deep about English-speaking culture.
I never thought about it that way. That's amazing.
Language and culture are always tied together. You can't fully separate them.
Okay, I love that. All right, let's recap everything we talked about today. I'll summarize, and please jump in, Mr. J, if I miss anything.
Go for it.
Okay, so April Fool's Day is on April 1st every year. It's a day for jokes and pranks.
Exactly.
The origin is a little mysterious, but one popular theory goes back to 16th century France, when people switched calendars and some people didn't get the news.
Right, and don't forget the paper fish.
Yes, in France they call it Poisson d'avril, April fish, and kids still put paper fish on people's backs.
Good memory.
It's celebrated in different ways around the world. It's not just an American thing. Even big companies do fake announcements on April 1st.
Flying penguins, May.
BBC and the Flying Penguins, classic. And the rules of a good prank. It should be fun for everyone, including the person who got tricked. No real harm, no real fear, know your audience.
That's the golden rule of pranks right there.
And the phrases we learned: April Fools, the big reveal. I got you, I tricked you. Your face was priceless. Your reaction was hilarious. You fell for it, you believed the trick. Pulling someone's leg, gentle teasing, and all in good fun. No bad intentions.
You covered everything perfectly. And the bonus phrase, reading the room.
Yes, reading the room, understanding the mood of the people around you. So important.
And my final tip, even if you're not someone who likes pranks, knowing this cultural tradition makes you a more connected, more fluent English speaker. Understanding humor is understanding people.
I love that. Understanding humor is understanding people.
Write that one down.
Okay, listeners, before we go, we want to hear from you. Here's our question for the day. Have you ever been pranked, or have you ever pranked someone else? Tell us what happened. Drop your story in the comments. We read every single one.
And if today's episode made you smile, made you laugh, or taught you something new, share it with a friend who's also learning English. It might just be the most helpful thing you do for them today.
And remember, we release a brand new episode every single day. So subscribe, follow, and we will see you tomorrow.
Until then, keep learning, keep laughing, and keep growing. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye, English learners. And hey, watch your back today. It's April 1st.
Always watch your back on April 1st. See you tomorrow.